You're listening to The Peoples Have Spoken with Hero and
Pandora.
Let's start off from the top with the fact that Trump says he's revoking Biden's access to classified information. In a Truth Social post, he said, "There's no need for Joe Biden to continue receiving access to classified information. We are immediately revoking Joe Biden's security clearances and stopping his daily intelligence briefings." Now, I didn't think Trump thought that highly of Biden. I like how he assumes that Biden has been listening to the classified security briefings.
I think he reminds him of students that he went to school with in elementary school and high school that did their homework.
He's taking it as vengeance. This is retribution.
Yes.
This is what he meant by retribution. It comes 4 years after Biden made the same move against Trump, in which he called Trump's behavior erratic after the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. But I'm confused. It's 2025. I thought we all knew that January 6th was a day of patriotism where hostages were taken by the U.S. government.
Yes, absolutely. A very special day of hostage taking. I think that it deserved a lot more attention this year, and it should have been deemed a national holiday next year.
Trump circled back to Special Counsel Robert Hur's report, which famously found that Joe Biden would present himself as an elderly man with a poor memory should he ever be investigated in the court system, in the legal system. And Trump said that the Hur report revealed that Biden suffers from poor memory, and even in his prime could not be trusted with sensitive information. This is coming from Donald Trump, the man who had boxes of classified documents on his toilet.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with classified documents? If you really care about something, you're going to take it with you to the bathroom, you know? I think my best reading happens on the toilet. My best writing.
Your best classified document
my best,
digestion?
Business
Is that where
conversation.
Do you have your classified documents with you?
I have a special bucket for them.
Well, good. Trump just fired the head of the National Archives.
Yeah, I'd love to take their place. I think I'm the perfect candidate.
I mean, he probably has 50 or 100 a day at Mar-a-Lago. And the people come in who wanted to stay there, and his attendants go, "Sorry, sir. We reserve this for the classified documents. Your seat's taken." Trump wrote, "Joe, you're fired," with his slogan, "Make America Great Again." Now let me just go to the White House website real quick. It says, it has a photo of Trump pointing in some random vague direction, nondescript direction, and in bold text it says, "America is back." So I thought he's made America great again. He goes back and forth between saying that he needs to make America great again and the moment he's here, America is great.
Well, I think what he's saying is he embodies America. And so America had left the building, and now officially America is back in the White House in the form of himself.
I can't deny that he embodies America. It's just he embodies everything wrong with America.
You know, I'm a huge fan of Trump. I'm a huge fan of everything that he's doing.
Oh.
I feel like we're really, really lucky to have a real estate mogul in chief, because soon we'll be playing blackjack and baccarat on the beaches of the Gaza Strip at the Riviera of the Middle East, and we'll be titanium members of a Greenland mining club, hiring Sherpas to help us shaft Mount Gunbjorn, and then we'll have the time of our lives at a timeshare overlooking the mass tourism of the Panama Canal.
Well, Trump,
so that's what I'm looking for.
Well, Trump hails from Florida. He'd know a thing or two about a timeshare.
That's right.
We're so lucky to have a real estate mogul in chief. Soon we'll be playing blackjack and baccarat on the beaches of the Gaza Strip at the Riviera of the Middle East. We'll be titanium members of a Greenland mining club, hiring Sherpas to help us shaft Mount Gunbjorn, and we'll have a timeshare overlooking the mass tourism of the Panama Canal.
Sorry, that's my AI music generator that follows me everywhere.
But no, yeah, with Trump in charge, our world is going to be our oyster, sick and starving as it may be. After all, USAID has been cut. We've cut aid to the rest of the world. And it tells you something about Trump that he doesn't understand. There are more ways than one to influence other countries. He thinks the only way is through hard power, through shows of military strength, yet he doesn't realize that all this funding that he calls needless is how America has maintained an advantage above all others for years.
I don't know. I think that the American people, they want to focus on giving Americans good jobs. They want food on their plates. They're really not so concerned with AIDS epidemics skyrocketing or people starving in places that they've never heard of.
No, they get concerned when the price of a Big Mac goes up by 50 cents. That's when shit's really hit the fan.
Well, and people are really upset about the eggs,
which have gone up since January 20th. You know, during the press briefing, which I unfortunately have subjected myself to, all of them so far, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt started ranting about how Biden genocided the chickens. And that's what sent egg prices soaring. Not the Trump administration's lackluster response to the bird flu, which is spreading across the country. The reason why we're not hearing anything about the bird flu is because the CDC is literally prohibited from reporting on it.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't know about this administration. I'm just not sure how that's going to fly. How are we going to know about things that we should know about?
That is the question. The Republicans they've described it as a shock and awe strategy. You know, the strategy used in Iraq, where, you know, do heavy ordnance bombing and make it appear so destructive and so deadly that the enemy's so demoralized. So they describe this as a shock and awe. Basically, they're pushing out as many orders as they can that stun people every time. So that, one, you're distracted from what's really going on. Two, you're distracted from the incompetence and what they're ignoring. And three, you think they're doing a good job when most of it's performative. Trump's issued, I think, 300 executive orders, and half of them are essentially pause this for 30 days, let the department head who's in charge write an essay about it, and then get back to me. And then they'll either be challenged in court, or he'll just put it back the way it was. And his supporters will go to Twitter, and Musk will tweet about how it's a great victory.
Yeah, a lot of these changes are really scary. One of the things that's interesting that's been happening the last couple of days is there's federal judges that have been blocking a lot of this stuff and putting, I guess, what freezes on his freeze?
Freezes on his freezes. And then we get the headline, Trump administration pauses implement. No, he was forced to. By the way, thank you, Joe Biden. He appointed, I think, more federal judges than Trump did in his first term. And that's why we have all these injunctions, except for the first one, who was appointed by Ronald Reagan. Now, when I learned that there was a judge appointed by Ronald Reagan still on the bench, I knew that the situation had to be worse than it seemed. So I Googled the list of federal judges. There are still judges judging people who were appointed by President Ford.
That's amazing. That's longevity.
It's horrifying.
Did I just dream this, or did Trump actually expand the diversity and inclusion hiring for the FAA in his last term?
I can't remember his last term.
Fair enough.
I don't want to remember his last term. His last term famously ended with a beautiful display of patriotic unity at our nation's capital. Something so beautiful I've never wanted to look at it again.
Well, one of the funny things is that he's proudly dismantling things that he actually created publicly.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, speaking of things that I did or didn't remember, one thing I did remember was the fact that Trump signed the First Step Act, and Republicans hailed it as major criminal justice reform. In many ways it was. It basically reformed the federal sentencing guidelines, among other things. And he famously issued a pardon to this woman who had basically turned her life around, who was a drug dealer, but who got her life back on track, did all these programs. Trump praised her in the Oval Office. She met with him in the Oval Office. He signed a thing that she blessed him for what he's done for criminal justice reform. Only a few days later, he says, people, including her, should be executed.
Wow. What a man.
Not her specifically. Trump said that all drug dealers should face the death penalty. So that would go against the pardons he issued.
Yeah, but on the good side, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the U.S. will prioritize transportation projects in the areas that have higher than average marriage and births, which means there's going to be a whole lot of millennials stuck in one-way bridge traffic looking at abandoned construction projects and popping the question like over their iPhones to their significant others.
You know I really love you. I wanna get home tonight. We gotta get the bridge fixed. Let's get hitched before sunrise. Look deep into my eyes now. Potholes are gonna keep us apart, so I'm popping the question. We've gotta get federal funded. Gotta get the roads fixed.
Secretary Duffy also said transportation projects will be given priority in states that allow ICE to roam the neighborhoods in the vicinity of Catholic churches, questioning any and all people with thick dark hair and dark eyes. They said anyone who sees any piñata bashing or hears any candy dropping to please report this activity immediately.
Uh-oh, I feel another AI-generated song with original lyrics coming on.
I'm picking out my windows. I'm sneaking down the alleys, spying a priest and the pope. Sunday mass ain't a rally. I listen through stained glass. When I hear an accent, it sounds like a war cry. I pray to see God's eyes. Deliver us from defunding our bridges, our rails, and our roads. May I seize wrong free, protecting our freedom from piñatas and parkways, barbecue picnics, visiting friends' gates, migrants in bike lanes without any license. They're blocking the highways to get to the farmlands with the hands that feed us. Deliver us from defunding our bridges, our rails.
Oh, I don't even know who Sean Duffy is. All of Trump's appointees have the most generic sounding names of it. You know, Trump made fun of Secretary Buttigieg. He would go, Pete Buttigieg. Yeah. But at least I can remember his name. I mean, we got the Duffys and the Bondies and the Gabbards and the Besant.
Well, I can't remember a single name of Elon Musk's...
Muskrat. We just got banned. We just got banned from Twitter. We just got suspended. Yeah, I can read it right now. You have been banned for... He left it blank. He left the reason blank. Oh, Elon. We love you, Elon. We've been unbanned.
They're thorough.
We've been unbanned.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, look at all the heart emojis.
And Elon is a brilliant guy. You know, I trust him to make decisions on behalf of our U.S. Treasury with his 19-year-old interns. You know, I want his tax refunds based on algorithms. I want our Social Security based on social media analysis. If Elon sees that you've liked too many inclusive posts, then he slashes your Social Security payout by half.
Exactly. Well, so I feel like it's easy to predict what his moves will be. So I, too, am looking forward to our tax refunds.
Our politically judged tax refunds. By the way, these were the people who are complaining about politicizing the government. Trump keeps referring to Canada as becoming the 51st state. Does he know that Democrats will get like an additional 300 representatives?
Yeah, I don't know if I should bet on Canada or Israel becoming the 51st state.
I think you're going to have some serious competition on the Israel side only. I don't think Canada wants any part of this. Now, Alberta might. I bet you'd see Alberta and Israel in a race to give Trump as many gifts with double meanings as possible. You know, golden pagers, a bear in an oil spill.
When you give somebody a pager, you're their boss.
Yeah, so they're either saying you're their boss or we want to blow you up. I guess
I think
to many that's synonymous.
Yeah.
He's got the Midas touch. Every Asian sees a pager. America's back. It's the oligarchs' rager. Golden powers, golden pagers. Gifts of gold for special favors. Golden showers, golden pagers. Gifts of gold for special favors. My habibi, my Yakarati, cried the women in the square.
I did want to give a shout out to taking out all important national holidays. I think that national holidays are really overrated, and singling people out based on the group that they belong to really only
It hurts
makes
people's feelings.
Yeah, it makes other people's
so
feelings
mean.
hurt. It is. If you're not one of those special people, think about how many groups of people exist in the world. You can't have a holiday for everybody.
Of course not. Of course not.
The Holocaust Museum should have never happened. You know, it was a big mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
National Holocaust Remembrance Day gone. D-Day gone.
Well, I think we can't we have a compromise? If National Holocaust Remembrance Day exists, you gotta make room for a National Nazi Day too, right?
I mean, you have to have a counterpoint. If you're going to have one holiday on one side, you have to have the other side.
For the audience, I'm Jewish, by the way. I'm going to be clear. I didn't say, like Congressman George Santos did, that I was Jew-ish. I'm saying that I am Jewish.
It's an important distinction.
It is a very important distinction. Speaking of, trying to whitewash history, it is really interesting how quickly the conservatives have gotten from fuck your feelings to... so bad. Why are the Democrats so mean?
Did you see that video of that woman talking about
Mace? Mace woman?
No, this one
I got
was...
Mace.
No, this one was very hurt by people comparing the Gaza genocide to the Holocaust.
Oh, and she made a Freudian slip.
What'd she say?
Was that the one where she goes, do not use other genocides to describe this one?
Oh, that's another one. That's a classic.
That is a classic.
That is a classic. No, this one was more recent, and she was speaking to the son of somebody who had survived Auschwitz, except his father, I believe, had died in the concentration camps, and she was giving him a hard time about calling it a genocide. He was explaining why, because he spent his whole life analyzing genocide and wars, and he was a very credible
So that's weird. What
analyst.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. Why spend your life analyzing something which does not exist?
True. So true. So true. So how did that whole dictator from day one thing go?
It went all right. I woke up in the morning. I was pleasantly surprised I woke up.
Yeah, we all woke up.
We were talking about Elon Musk. Elon has been attending far-right German rallies for the AfD, the Alternative for Deutschland. It's their far-right party. It's classified by the German intelligence as a suspected extremist group, which, I would also suspect a group saying we need to reclaim German history as potentially extreme. But Elon Musk was speaking there, and he told them, do not be ashamed of your heritage. Do not be ashamed of being German, which is never a good sign.
It's an interesting contrast to Trump's don't make American school children hate America by telling them what actually happened in American history.
Well, remember, Trump on his last day in office tried to do that 1776 project. It had no actual historians on it. It was just political appointees. And it essentially concluded that Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, all the great figures of American history, they're actually hard right. That they were actually opposing socialism and leftism. The 1776 report.
Really?
They're counter to the 1619 project. It was terminated literally not 5 minutes after Biden swore the oath of office. And he never tried to bring it back.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and speaking of Dr. King, I was really impressed by the acrobatics that Trump did being inaugurated on Martin Luther King Day and talking about the I Have a Dream speech and having one of the reverends that he had speak quoted Dr. King at length, and there was a lot of speaking to diversity is power and then doing a 180.
Well, I have a dream that this episode of The Peoples Have Spoken is over. Thank you for listening.